Hey everyone, welcome to your yoga session for today. I have a fun one, the things that Sarah always wants to say and is always thinking about, but never says to remain professional. On your side, grab the ankle, pointing the knee down. I have to say pointing the knee down because everyone always points their knee up and I'm like, what is the purpose of having your knee up? Like obviously you don't feel a stretch at all. So what's the purpose of that? So I have to say, pointing the knee down. Now I get worried because when I say point the knee down, people are actually trying to point down the ground. No, just have it parallel to yourself. It's not rocket science. Pulling the knee back. Next is taking my other foot and putting on top of my leg. For some reason, this confuses people. They're like, what do you mean on top of the leg? I'm like, there you go, bro. They're like, oh, some type of magic. I'm like, is it though? Now, I say engaging the glute, but what I really mean is engaging the butt. Which one? The bottom butt or the top butt? Well, obviously the top because that's the one we're working. But trying to remain professional, I'm like, oh, engage the glute. And people are like, what's a glute? And I'm like, engage your butt, bro. Engaging the butt pushes the hip forward so we get more of a stretch of the hip flexors. Why do we have to stretch the hip flexors? You got to stretch the hip flexors because they're attached to your quads, bro. That's why. Why do you gotta ask so many questions? Okay, so if this is enough for you, then stay here or move to the next one. If you have knee problems, make sure to stay here. Then of course everybody goes to the next pose because they're like, oh, I wanna be a champion of the world. I wanna do absolutely everything to the most intensity, including being 100% flexible in 10 minutes in one day. Get my black belt in yoga. Sitting on my shin, other foot up, on the ground, shoulders back. Same thing, engaging my butt cheek. I gotta say butt because people don't know what a glute is. And I'm like, am I still on camera? There we go. The easiest way to explain the next step is bringing the belly button forward, but then people will do this and it's not wrong. It's just, you won't get the most out of it, not learn a lot about life skills. So engaging the glute, and think about pulling the hips to ribs. This is my constant battle of my life, pulling the hips to ribs. That's my hip, that's my rib. Get them to touch. Because when you do that, it tilts the pelvis. But this is a really hard concept for people to understand. It's like, I'm sitting here and it's like, okay, I got a butt, no butt. Butt, no butt. I want everybody to have no butt for a while. That's what we're looking for. Tilting the hips to ribs. No butt. Is it that hard, guys? No butt. Oh, wow, look at that stretch. Through my whole front, I can't even believe it. I'm like, yeah, believe it. You're a champion of yoga. Let's do the other side. I'm tired of explaining this side. On your side, okay, now we worked with the same magic. Got to remind everyone everything again. I'm pulling my knee. No, put your knee down. Did you forget what we talked about extensively 2 minutes ago? All right, point the knee down, pull it back, my other foot. I'm gonna put on top of that leg, just so I remember to keep that knee down because we need a physical cue, because you forget everything right away. Engaging the butt. I hope everyone figured out what butt cheek. Fuck it, engage both butt cheeks, that's fine, won't hurt anybody. And then, I'm like, if anyone has knee problems, meniscus problems, fluid in the knees, make sure to stay here. But everyone wants to be a champion of the world. I'm gonna do the hardest thing I can. Do you want 100 burpees, the transition too? I'm like, yes, I'm gonna transition to the next pose. Foot on the ground. Engaging the butt. Which one? Both butts. Both of your butts. Now, tilting the pelvis forward. So pulling your hips to ribs. I don't really understand what that is, but I'm just gonna really pretend and make a face so Sarah thinks that I'm doing it. No, I know you're not doing it. I know you don't understand it, but at this point, we're almost done the pose and you're kind of a lost cause, so I'm just gonna let it go. And that sounds like a tomorrow problem. That sounds like a future Sarah problem, dealing with you not understanding how to pull your hips to ribs. So I gotta use analogies. Oh, you're a puppy dog and you're in trouble. You You tuck your tail underneath. Oh, that's so sweet. Everybody likes puppies. I gotta use analogies like that because you can't even figure out how your own body works. But it's a miracle when somebody does figure it out. I'm like, hallelujah. Like an angel just got its wings. All right. Grabbing your belt. I don't have a belt, coach. Figure it out. Don't have a belt? Use your housecoat belt or someone's t-shirt or a towel or your really long arms. I don't need a belt, just use your really long arms, that's fine. Okay, 1 foot on the ground, 1 knee on the ground. To begin and opening up the hip, walk the knee back just a little bit. Now I understand you want to be the champion of the world in one day, but only go to 70%. Okay, don't go 100%. And I say because it's counterintuitive and you'll go too far and tighten up. But if you go 100% right now, you'll pull a muscle and then never do yoga again. I'm wasting my time. It's about me. Moving the knee back, that really, really opens up the hips. Now, I can't believe this, but I actually got to talk everybody how to do a knot. Do a knot in your belt. And then you know, they're going to pause it and try to figure out how to do it for 12 minutes. You know, they probably all failed Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. All they did is ate all the cookies and got super fat instead of actually learning important life skills like tying knots. Loop it around your leg. This is where shit gets so complicated. You ready for this? First, figure out what is left and right. Loop it around my left leg. Take the belt in your right hand. Really, really hard. For some people it is. Take the belt in the right hand. Okay, there we go. Now I've got a free hand. Let's give it a job. You ready for the job? Nice. There it is. Everything has a job. 1 foot's on the ground. The other hand is posting. I'm grabbing my other leg with the belt. My last hand is holding the belt. Everything has a job. Everything's so happy. All right. Couple deep breaths. I got to remind you to breathe because everyone gets really intense. They go to 100% and they get really intense and they hold their breath and they say they hate yoga and they try it at once. Well, no, it's not the don't hate the sport. Don't hate the game. Hate the player. Like you're being ridiculous right now. Okay, who holds their breath doing something as intensely as they can? Do you eat dinner holding your breath and eating everything as fast as you can? No, that's absolutely ridiculous. Do you drive to work holding your breath and driving as fast as you can? No, that's retarded. So why would you stretch holding your breath going as intensely as you can? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, why are you doing that? What is wrong with you? So I got to tell you to breathe because you're an adult and you forgot how for some reason. Take it easy, bro. Inhale. Exhale. Nice work on the breathing. You're still watching this, you haven't passed out. Nice work on the breathing. Okay, letting the belt go. Find a way to make it to the other side. You know, I don't even care if the belt's still on your foot. You can take it off after. It's good to take it off now. Our future self will be grateful. 1 foot on the ground, other knee on the ground. Walking the knee back just to preload the pose, just to get us ready for the next pose, to open up the hip a little bit. And you gotta remind you, don't go to 100%. I think that's what you tell everybody in life. Why is that person living life at 100%? They're gonna crash and burn. Like you can't get up at 4 a.m. and then do your work for 6 hours and then work out for 4 hours and then do food prep for 2 and then do your active recovery for 6 and then do all your Zoom sessions for 8 hours. Like you do that, you're gonna burn out. So why on earth would we go 100% into the pose right away or at all? Like what is wrong with you? Nice, okay. Here we go, the big left and right. I think we're ready for it. The big left and right. Loop the belt around the foot. For me, it's my right now. Taking the belt in the left hand. Okay, everything has a job. My back leg is stretching. My left hand is grabbing the belt. My left foot is on the ground. My right hand, let's make it into a post. There we are, nice, okay. Now, breathe. Remember what happens when we hold our breath during intense things. Nothing happens. It's counterproductive. We crash our car. We can't get food inside of us. Holding your breath, you're trying to eat. Focus on breathing. Letting go of that muscle. Now, instead of getting incredibly lazy in this pose, which I know that's exactly what you're doing, think about pushing off the ground with the right hand, pushing off the ground with the left, and stretching. That's better. One more deep breath. Nice, okay. Let that all go. This next one is fantastic. All right, this is one of the first ones I learned when I started the program. I'm like, that is genius. Sitting on your heels, leaning back. You can even put the hands back if you want. If you're in the living room, you have a couch behind you, lean against the couch. That's even nicer. And like we talked about extensively, boom, tightening. This time it is both butt cheeks. You're right. It is both. To stretch the quads and engage the hip flexors. Just such an amazing pose. And the concept is when someone's teaching jiu-jitsu class, how does everybody sit? They sit like assholes. They sit like this. They sit like this. They do the sexy pose like this and hope people look at them and laugh and they can giggle while the instructor's teaching. And when they have to go do the technique, they have no idea what's going on and don't know what to do. So they look around and feel really stupid because they're a purple belt. But they're not a very good purple belt. All they can do is barambolos, but they don't know how to do an armbar. So that's the first part of your problem. Instructor's teaching, instead of sitting like an asshole, I want you to sit on your shins and lean back. So you get obviously a little stretch in the quads, but also a tiny core workout. And the next concept is really good posture. And with good posture brings oxygen, which brings good energy. And you move to wrestling, all your other training partners are sitting like assholes, but you're sitting like a champ. You need every edge you can get these days, and this is one, even if it's a small edge. All right, find your stretch. If you're leaning back, fingers out, will be no stretch in the shoulders. I like bonus stretches because I like to get the most bang for my buck, make the most of my time, unless I'm deciding to stand there and watch my boyfriend fix a fence for 3 hours and pretend to help, but really not. Concept is if I want to waste time, I do that purposely. But if I'm doing something, I need to get the most out of it. Fingers forward, get a nice stretch in those elbows, maybe bend the elbows, get a nice stretch in the shoulders. Shoulders, elbows, whatever, you probably don't even know the different body parts anyways, doesn't make a difference. Am I doing it right? Does it feel good? Yes, you're doing it right. Stretching something. Awesome, okay, let that go. Really, really nice work on those quads. They're constantly so tight because we don't stretch them very often. We use them for so many things. So today's just a really beneficial day. And remember, doing something really intense once or twice for a short amount of time doesn't bring results. Doing something a little bit every day, it doesn't feel like a lot, but when you look behind you a month later, you're like, holy crap, that's cool. So that's the secret. Do a little bit every single day. Don't do really, really intensely in one day, holding your breath at 100 miles an hour to get your morning coffee. No, go 50 miles an hour, 60, the speed limit, open the window, listen to the birds, find your Starbucks gift card that you stole from that little nice old lady. You said you picked it up for her, but yeah, actually swapped it with an empty gift card, and this one is $1,000. Or find that gift card, right? And just get a little coffee every day. Yeah, life's a lot better then, isn't it? Okay, I'll see you next session.